it's Lil D from LilDevette.com and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing something a little bit lighthearted, which is sharing with you my art journal setups. I did a video similar to this a little over a year ago, which many of you enjoyed. I love to art journal as a creative outlet and as a way of self-care to kind of just give my mind a mental break from the seriousness of life. Because, as you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. If you know what famous movie that quote is from, bonus points, leave it in the comments below. As many of you know, in our planner community, we have a lot of wonderful and creative people. Some of them choose to do it directly in their planners. Others choose to do it in a separate journal. I tend to do the latter. So just as a quick disclaimer, I am a novice artist and I love to watercolor. I am not an expert by any means, so if you're looking for expert tips, this is not the video for you. What I'm planning to do is to just share with you the 3 little kits I've created for myself, which I'll use each one depending on the environment I'm in. So if you're interested in learning more, please keep watching. To begin, this is one of my smallest kits. It's a leather roll case by a company called The Vintage Stuff. I found it on Amazon, and I really like this because it reminds me a lot of that other roll case that a lot of us are seeing on Instagram by a company called the Superior Labor. And I like to use this whenever I just want to color in a journal. So for 2017, I was using a Hobonichi Techo for memory keeping. So I would just draw and doodle, and then I would paint it with watercolor. And then for 2018, I'm using this Alt Guild Traveler's Notebook filled with Planner Perfect blank notebooks. So whenever I just want to grab something really quick, I grab this little guy. So let me show you how I put this kit together. So it rolls open. If I had one complaint, it would be that it's kind of short. I thought it would be a little bit taller, but it works fine for what it's suited for. Starting from over here, I have a mechanical pencil. I have a small tip marker from Faber-Castell. This is an automotive paper towel. These are a lot more absorbent and really great when you're watercoloring, and they don't break as easily as regular paper towels. Then I have some watercolor brushes. These are the Pentel ones, and the reason I have 3 is because I have 3 sizes. I'm trying to see if I have them in order. So I have a small tip one. And then I believe this is actually the larger one, I think. And this is the medium tip one. And then lastly, I found this one as part of a set in Barnes & Noble. And this one is a flat tip one, which is very unusual to find. So I have those 3. They're full of water and ready to go. And then lastly, I have this watercolor kit that I made myself. I apologize for the glare. This is a business card case, and I got this idea from another YouTuber. I'll make sure to link her below. But basically what I did was I bought some button covers. They're about a 1/2 inch and a rounded bottom, and I glued them to the bottom of the card case, and then I filled them up with my watercolors. So most of these are Winsor Newton Cotman, and then I do have some Daniel Smith and a Schmincke. I made a little color cheat sheet for myself, and as you can see, that fits in perfectly. I use this as a mixing palette, and then on the back I have all the names written down. So this is about as small and sleek as you get. So this is the perfect little portable kit because I can fit all the tools that I need, and it rolls up perfectly. And it's 15 bucks. You can't go wrong. So when I just want to create on the go, I just grab a notebook, I grab this little guy, and I'm good to go. And there it is. So next up is my on-the-go art journal. So this cover is by Soggiorno, and I'll make sure to link her down below. It's a beautiful leather cover. It's about a field note size, but instead of opening like this, it actually flips open. So in here, I tend to carry a Stillman and Burn 3x5 watercolor book. And in here, I like to, you know, color and practice. Underneath, there's a little flap where I have another one of my credit card watercolor kits, and it looks very similar to my other one. So that goes in the card case hiding underneath. And then in this front flap, once again, I have one of these automotive paper towels. And inside, I have this little short Zentangle pencil with a little stub so that I can smudge. And then this is a Koi travel water brush. It came in a Koi kit that I had, and it has a stopper. It actually separates into two pieces. So if you take this stopper off and you twist it on in the opposite direction that you would normally twist something on, you would have a short watercolor brush, and it has a small tip. So again, this is just if I need to, or I'm inspired to do something on the go. It's been perfectly adequate for my needs, and I love that I've been able to get it down to this very small size so that I can just toss it into my purse or a tote. And then of course I also have this little clip so I can keep the pages in place. And this is my on-the-go art journal. So lastly, this is my main kit. If I'm home and I can spread out and I have all the room in the world, this is my main watercolor kit. So let's talk about this case first. This is actually a technology case made for storing and transporting, you know, little technology gadgets like external hard drives, cables, and things like that. This one in particular has 2 compartments, and it's by a company called BUBM. I also found this on Amazon. BUBM stands for Be Unique, Be Myself. So let's start with the top compartment. And because this is designed to hold technology items, it has a lot of straps and things to carry a lot of things. So on this top flap, I keep all my pens and pencils. So I have Jelly Rolls, Micron markers, I have the Uniball Signo ones, a Stadler automatic eraser, retractable eraser. I have these Sharpie, which ones are these? These are the water-based ones, which I sometimes use for highlights. I have it in white and black, you know, and then some accent colors. I don't put anything here under these straps. However, in this compartment, I keep all my travel watercolor brushes. So my husband was a doll, and one year he gave me the Escoda kit. So I'll show you what one of those look like. So I have this beautiful brush in sizes 2 through 12. I also have some cheaper brands. So I have the Jane Davenport one, which is retractable this way. I have some brushes from a company called Rosemary and Company. Let's see, here goes one. So I'm really addicted to watercolor brushes because they're very, very portable, and you know, they take up almost no room. So as you can see, I have quite the collection, and they all fit in this compartment. And I also keep some binder clips so I can keep my art journal closed. So those all stay in that compartment. And then we'll close this up. And I've tried to make this kit to be self-contained, meaning I don't really need to bring anything else along with me. So as you'll see in this next compartment, I'll try to open it this way. Yeah, there you go. So here I have some net pockets and also this closed compartment. So here I have some, you know, color charts. I have some smaller papers and some paint samples that I've created. This is my favorite hack, which is those geo tubes that normally people will put things in and then they'll bury it and let someone else find them. So these are great. They really seal well. I keep two of them. So one is for dirty water, one is for clean water. And what I do is I just take the caps off and I keep it held in this hand, and then I use the brush with this hand and I just dip and go into my palette and I wipe it off on my paper towel. So these are great and it fits perfectly in this case. I also have a dropper in case I need to, drop some water on my watercolors because they're not activating quickly enough. I also have a very small spray bottle, which I got from Michael's. So again, to activate the watercolor. So those slide in perfectly in this compartment here. And then on the opposite side, I actually took one of my son's old t-shirts and I cut it up. So I use this to kind of wipe off the brushes. Here's another one of my favorite hacks. This is kind of a fitness band. So if you kind of put it around your wrist, what you can do is you can paint, and instead of wiping it off on this, you can wipe it off on your wristband. And I use this also sometimes with my travel kit, but I keep one in here because I had an extra one. For texture, I do have 2 additional sponges. They're kind of cheap little ones, and this is a makeup one. And again, it's just to create texture on a page. So all of those fit in nicely in these compartments. And then it has one big compartment, and this is where I keep my palette as well as my watercolor book. So in this one, this is also a Stillman and Byrne, the Beta series. It's actually my favorite books. They're wonderful. The paper's really thick and it's white. And I just do my watercolors in here. And many of you might have seen some of these on Instagram. Now this case, I had a couple of little kits like many of us. You tend to accumulate watercolor kits over the years. So I had the Jane Davenport ones, I had the Winsor and Newton ones, and then later on I got better ones. So I decided to just condense everything into a palette. So this is one of the biggest jumbo palettes that I've ever found, so I can condense everything. It's by a company called Pfeiffer Art Supply, P-F-E-I-F-F-E-R. They're on Etsy. And this is called, I think, the Jumbo, rightfully so. So I cut down a magnetic kind of white backing, and I put it on this side of the lid so I can use it as a mixing palette. And then I just took all the pans that I had in my collection and I just threw it in here. So that's my Jane Davenports and my Winsor and Newtons and my Daniel Smiths, and I think I have some M. Grahams in there as well. I created a color chart so I can remember what everything looks like, and I just keep this together. And then lastly, I made this, I think this was like a microwave plastic board, so I just kind of cut it down. And the reason I keep this with my kit is because sometimes you're painting, and in order to avoid getting paint on other pages, what you'll do is you'll slip it underneath, so that way the paint, rather than painting accidentally on the pages or on the borders, it'll be caught by this plastic sheet and wipes off easily, but it'll at least protect your other ones, so that way you can maintain the integrity of your other pages. So these 3 items fit perfectly in this back pocket, and it makes for a wonderful at-home, completely self-contained watercolor kit. So yes, I'm very passionate about painting. I've been painting since I was little. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm hoping to one day be at least better than I was the day before. Isn't that the goal? So those are my 3 watercolor kits that I keep together for art journaling. It's always great to have kind of a, like I said, something that you can do to take your mind off the day-to-day. This is it for me. And I know that, you know, there are many folks in our community that also do the same thing. So I figured that this would be a wonderful thing to share with you guys. So I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any other questions or topic requests, just leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as check out my blog at lildevette.com for more information. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye.